It's fascinating how some people's lives are extremely different than yours. How there's guys out there and there's people out there that they have the girl that they want. They have a family that cares about them, that supports them. They have friends, connections, amazing jobs, or maybe they don't have a regular job at all. Maybe their grandfather passed away and left them with $1 million, or left them with a few $100,000, or maybe one of their jobs is making YouTube for a living, or being a Twitch streamer, or something that's fun where you don't got to interact with people. And these people are fully capable to interact with people and work in regular jobs, but life seems to have thrown them a bone when they didn't even need it. Meanwhile, you're a type of person that you like kind of staying alone, even though at certain times you wish you had a girl. But being alone means you can kind of protect yourself from people's judgments, their perceptions, and their negative energetic manifestational frequencies that they emit on upon you. But life seems to force you in these situations where you have to work these crappy jobs, you have to be around crappy people, you have to be in these crappy situations where you don't really get along with certain people. Even if you just stick to yourself and don't bother nobody and try to just be quiet, they seem to attack you even more. And you have to wonder why. Why would life design it in the way where if you're a person, you have a good mind, a good heart, a good spirit, you don't bother nobody, but yet life puts you in this position where you have to interact with assholes. You have to interact with people that are just not good. Now, why would life do that? What benefits life to take somebody that doesn't want to be bothered and put them around people that are toxic, narcissistic, and always want to cause problems and drama? Why would life put you in that situation instead of putting you around people that can help your spirit, that can raise your mind, that can help you, achieve your goals and dreams and ambitions, whatever they are, whatever they are. But instead, life puts you around people that seem to suppress you, seem to try to break your confidence, seem to not to believe in your dream that you believe in. Meanwhile, everybody that made it, everybody that's famous, everybody that gets to live their dream, they're all surrounded by people that supported them. They're surrounded by, a loving girlfriend that gives them sexual alleviation, that believes in them. They got family members that, it doesn't matter if trolls try to freaking break them or impersonate them or do send them videos like those. That's not gonna be able to break that relationship at all. They're still gonna be okay. We know that's not you. We know that's just some people trolling, and and you're gonna be around more positive people. You're gonna have random opportunities that lead to wealth and power and influence. You're gonna meet somebody in high school and meet them in college, and they just so happen got the connection that you truly want. And that connection opens up so many doors in your life. Meanwhile, people like us, we be doing our little talents for years, for decades, and we never get that opportunity to really live the life that we want. We got to look for some crappy job, even though we're talented. Like, who in the hell wants to work a crappy job when you can actually make something that can make you wealthy and rich? Meanwhile, somebody else who don't even have talent, they'll be the person that be given the opportunity to become wealthy and rich. It's like this life is designed to just hold what you truly want in front of your face and tease you. And right when you try to reach for it or try to grab it, it snatches it away from you so you can't have it. And it feeds off that energy of you trying your hardest to try to achieve something, but then you never get it. And it's like some type of God or some type of sick, sinister spirit is playing games with us. That's not right. We all should be able to thrive. We all should be able to survive. We all should be able to make the lives and create the lives that we want and that we dream of. But instead, we find ourselves being around toxic people who make us feel like we're walking on, eggshells, or we have to conduct ourselves in a certain way. And then a lot of us, man, there's only so much we can really take before we snap and break. And then the people that tried to break you, they're the ones going to play victim. It's funny. Certain people will try to mistreat you, try to break you, try to devastate you. They know you're going through something and they still fucking attack you. That's not somebody who you should be around and somebody you should ever forgive and nobody you should ever try to talk to again. When somebody sees you in a bad position and they still attack you, that's not a good person. That's somebody that really needs a physical alteration and a physical um, neutralization. You know, because when you kick a man when he's down, When you attack somebody when they haven't done nothing to you, they haven't done nothing to you. You chose to attack somebody. You chose to do that. When somebody has never done anything to you, doesn't even think about you, doesn't even bother you. And then there's no God that's watching saying, that's messed up what they did to him. Let me get some retribution from him. He did nothing to those people. And that God just sits on his ass and doesn't do nothing. But they talk about you when you want to just sit on your ass, quote unquote, and just stay away from the world. But you're not because you're lazy, because people emotionally drain you. And don't you just feel tired lately? Emotionally, it doesn't matter if you're in the neat, if you're neat and you're in the house all day, or if you're going your 9 to 5, whatever. You still feel emotionally drained at the end of the day. It feels like there's something that's eating our soul's energy. It's something that's feeding off of us. You could sleep all day and still feel tired, you know? And when you go to the 9 to 5, you got to think about the emotional tiredness you feel. You're getting emotionally drained by your boss, who's making, just incomprehensible orders like he's some type of tiny tyrant. You got your coworkers to worry about, or gossiping and talking behind your back every second they get, making the job more difficult emotionally and physically. They give you the extra hard work, or they give you the extra emotional crap to deal with, while they try to slide away and chill because you don't like talking to that many people. And they say you're weird for not talking. Then you got to deal with the constant customers. You got to deal with the constant, just knowing you're a certain age and you're working a dead end job while somebody else is at home in their drawers playing fucking Xbox or playing Nintendo Wii, streaming for a few hours a day, making $1 million a month. Did you know there's streamers out there that make between 100,000 to $1 million a month? I'm not even kidding. Google what I'm saying. There's guys out there that make $1 million a month playing video games. 1 million. Now you got to pay taxes. You don't just get that whole million. You got to pay taxes and all that shit. But still, that's $1 million something dollars, 100,000 to $1 million a month playing video games, doing what they love. What God would allow somebody like that? And most of these people, they're like the boisterous. Hey guys, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. They're like those types, so they'll fit perfectly in some type of job, some type of retail worker position. Yeah, people like us who are quiet, who are silent, who keeps to themselves. We're the ones that got to be forced in those situations to be around those toxic people who are loud and boisterous and just evil and deceptive, and they're just overall mean and twisted people. Why would a God force us in situations that we don't want to be in? I don't want to be around people like that. I don't want to talk to people like that. I don't want to be around toxicity. I want peace, quiet, and tranquility, and the ability to do my dreams and ambitions, and the opportunity to meet certain people that can take, whatever I got going on to another level. So why does this God allow certain things to happen to certain people? Why? Because this being or this creature or this thing, whatever you want to call it, it feeds off our negative energy and our negative frequency. Point blank, period. It's feeding off of us. And this has been said for thousands of years. Hell, the CIA had a report talking about how they were studying energetic manifestational frequencies. That's where I got the terminology from a Central Intelligence Agency declassified document. And they were talking about how they did a study where somebody got angry and they seen on this little machine, they actually seen energy like emit from this person. Then it got like evaporated, like a vacuum was around, and it got sucked away somewhere. And then they shut the whole program going down and classified it and then shut the results up. So they know something's out there feeding on our energy that's invisible, but they're not going to really delve into it because they want everybody to be a brainwashed blind sheep. This world is not a good world. This dimension that we're in is not good. We have so much stress, so much depression, so much people committing seppuku, all because people just want to be happy at the end of the day. People want to be happy, but we're not allowed to be happy. We're allowed to be in agony. We're allowed to be in misery. We're allowed to be mistreated. We're allowed to be devastated. We're allowed to have our confidence broken into tiny pieces of glass, and then having that glass even broken even more into tiny little shards of sand and glass, and then that's being thrown into the ocean. It's brutal. This is not the life that I would want. If there was like some type of choice in life. Well, okay, this is gonna be your life. You're gonna be born into poverty. You're gonna go through this. You're gonna be a skin color configuration that's gonna make life even difficult, even more difficult and more harder. And people just gonna look at you and not want you to date their daughters, not want you to be in their family. Think that your skin color configuration will contaminate their bloodline or something like that. So they're gonna treat you a bad way. If I knew life was gonna be like that, I would have said, hell no. I would have never came into this body, came into this consciousness, or came into this existence. I'd rather stay. I'd rather stay in wherever the hell that I came from. There's no way in hell I would have came into this dimension. There's no way in hell. So how the hell are you supposed to, quote unquote, be judged and go to hell saying we have free will when we didn't even have the free will or the conception, the consciousness, or the mental or spiritual capacity to even pick our own race, to even pick our own what family we're gonna be born in. We don't have those things determine everything. If you're born the wrong type of look, life's gonna be almost impossible for you to become a millionaire or become successful. It doesn't matter how talented you are. And a few ninjas they allow the few people that Jays allow. So to look like, oh yeah, this is a life of anybody can make it. That's a lie and that's an illusion. Not anybody can make it. Some people are allowed to make it, so it can make it seem like you're the lazy one, you know. Oh well, this person made it in America, so how come you guys can't? It's like the myth of the perfect minority, when meanwhile those people didn't face what certain other people faced, and that's why they had to pass civil rights laws. Those people were allowed to come into the country because they didn't want a certain demographic rising up, because they know if that demographic is equal playing field, it's over. This demographic created music. This demographic created all types of things, and they've always been seen as a threat. When they were released, they were people under servitude with nothing, with no help. There was no type of government assistance for these people. And then nowadays we want to make it like these people are such criminals and this, that, and the third. And talk about, well, what about Chicago? What about you guys doing World War II reenactments all the time? What about you guys dropping nuclear proliferation upon a city in Japan? No person in Chicago has the mental capacity or fortitude to make a nuclear bomb or make some type of nuclear chemical composition that could split an atom and create power that would devastate entire cities in seconds. And who are giving these weapons of mass destruction to people in Chicago? Them ninjas don't have no sense to make weapons and produce weapons manufacturing or weapons factories. So who does? And who are doing that? Who's doing that on purpose to demonize a certain people? These people have no resources, no money, no type of real education. You treat them like crap. You berate them. Of course, they're going to talk ignorant. Like, yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, they're going to talk ignorant and talk with a certain vernacular. Of course, they haven't been exposed to true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So, of course, they're going to act a certain way. They're going to be programmed by the Jays to be the scapegoats. Meanwhile, the real people that are controlling and playing both sides are escaping scot-free in Israel, or whatever type of secret underground base or formation or installation or sensitive installation that they have. Don't you know they have deep underground cities? Don't you know that? They have deep underground cities that they've been working on for years. They have DUMBs, which are called deep underground military bases. And some of these places have they're as big as an entire city. They got hospitals, they got streets, they even got police vehicles, and they're preparing for something. They know that something is coming that's going to devastate the surface world. It could be a zombie apocalypse. It could be a nuclear proliferation, and annihilation, and termination, and extermination. Or it could be something even more mass destructive than that. Or it could be all that combined and more. So they already have places inside the earth where they can go, places on other planets and other worlds, a little classified space station they don't tell you about. You think NASA's little space station, NASA never a straight answer? You think NASA's little tiny space stations, what they really have? They'll never show you what they really have. The classified space stations, they'll never show you the classified spaceships they have. They'll say it's just a rocket. They're not going to tell you what they really have because it's not for you to know. Because if you find out how they're powered and their energetic sources, you'll be like, well, how come we can't have free energy cities and not pay the light bill? Because they want you paying the light bill, because the light bill means control. If they have the ability to turn off your light, turn off your electricity, cut off your power, that means they have control over you. If they lose that ability, then you start making your own type of light, your own type of, way to get energy, then you're going to start, you know what, I don't need a 9 to 5 no more. I go in the forest, I can use this energy from the earth, and I can build my own little, power plant, and I can build my own little thing, and I can grow my own vegetables. I don't need to work a regular 9 to 5, and I can have peace and tranquility. And then with peace and tranquility comes clarity. And once you have clarity, you start to see through this makeshift matrix that's on some fake shit. And then you may start plotting and planning how to take it down, the system of oppression, the system that has chains inside of your brain that make you go insane. And they do not want that. They want a population of servants, a population that doesn't think, a population that can't read, a population that is used to devastation, and a population that accepts all types of abuse, whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse. They want you to accept it and be silent and be quiet and be compliant. Then they tell you, we're going to take away your weapons because we want a safer America. But who does that really benefit? When the population that you rule over doesn't have a way to defend itself, that means it's perfect for a tyrant to do whatever they want to do with you.